Again, good day, everybody. Welcome to the side webinar. As you see, my colleague Valerie in the chat is welcoming everybody, and you can introduce yourself if you like. We will start here in a few minutes. As you have been informed already, the webinar is being recorded, as we would like to have it available online on this side YouTube channel for other potential applicants to be able to see information about how to apply and what are the main questions or issues regarding application process. Here we go. So as you've noticed already, as participants, you are currently muted. You can put your comments in that window. Also, later on, we'll have the Q&A, as you've seen also in the agenda. So first, I'll have a short 5-minute presentation, just an overview of the side project. My name is Lucia Rakočević, and I come from Tinky. We are an SME from Belgium, and we're managing the side project. We have other 12 project partners as well, as I'll present them later on. Then we'll have our project partner, Bohm, from Germany, and Fanny will first introduce the side pilots, which we have 7 of them. And then we'll hear a presentation from Ludwig Karg on what are the side replicants and why you should apply for our call for application. And then Fanny will again explain the process of application, and then we'll have open for question and answer. So the side project, it's an H2020 project, and it means, DECIDE means developing energy community through informative and collective action. What are we trying to do in DECIDE? What are some objectives of the DECIDE project? We're trying to understand through social science what is end consumer segmentation and group dynamics inside collective energy actions. We're trying to understand and tackle feasibility, regulatory barriers, and contractual conditions for these collective energy actions. We're offering a platform and also possibility to transfer knowledge between research partners, but also pilots, people that are dealing with regulations, also partners, but also regulators in the countries of DECIDE and other stakeholders. And you'll hear later on how this is being done. We want to increase visibility of the best practices that are out there in Europe right now, and also offer possibility for our pilots in DECIDE and replicators that are involved with DECIDE to further grow, implementing these understandings that we aim through the project of how people, what are the initiatives that people want to join and why, and help not just grow these pilots, but also replicate the good ideas of those pilots. The project has started in June 2020, so now we're close to end of the first year. And in the first year of the project, we have had a chance to define what are the KPIs to say how we can say that an energy community is growing. We are understanding what is there already for social and science understanding of how people join and why people join in energy communities and collective actions. We have worked with mainly up until now with our 7 pilots. So in the side project, we have 7 pilots, which Fanny will present in a minute, and they're in 7 EU countries. And some of them are in the beginning phases, some in later phases. So this process of working with pilots and understanding what are the lessons that we can learn from their process is ongoing throughout the project. In the next year, we're planning to have, in August approximately, we're planning to have an online platform which is called Knowledge Base and Coffee Shop, where in a knowledge base anybody can access it and they can find information not just from the side project, but from all other projects across EU and all other initiatives on energy communities and collective actions. While in Coffee Shop, it's it's interactive online platform where our pilots and replicators can communicate with each other, exchange lessons learned, exchange practices that are good in different countries. And then in the last year, then we put, let's say, everything together, and we're hoping that our pilots and replicators both can grow so that we can have even further replication throughout the project. We're also going to have a lot of workshops and webinars, let's say, constantly we're doing also stakeholder analysis and figuring out how people react to collective energy actions in different countries. As I said, we're 13 partners. So aside from Pinky and WOM, which you will hear here, we also have UNM Research from Austria. We have Prospects Institute from Belgium. We have Thermovolt, which is one of our pilots from Belgium, Embro also from Belgium, Tartu from Estonia, Our Power from Austria. We have Hero and Domex from Greece, University of Mannheim from Germany, EClass, they're all over Europe, but the partners here are stated in Germany, and then we have Hinterland from Germany. So I will give the floor now to Fanny so she can present each of the pilots separately. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction, Lucia. And yeah, I hope you can see now my screen. As already shortly presented, those are the site pilots. They are developing towards an energy community or active as a collective action. And all over Europe, you heard it already that we have Our Power from Austria. They are an energy cooperative with a peer-to-peer marketplace for renewable electricity from its members. And they promote also collective financing and citizen engagement. For example, they address private house owners with a solar PV and communities of citizens that want to finance solar, wind, and biomass projects. Then from Belgium, we have Thermovolt. They offer software and hardware solution for electric energy services of residential thermal appliances. And this is in our Decide project, done in close cooperation with a social housing apartment building. The other Belgian partner is Enbro. They act in energy brokerage, and they offer guidance and development of solutions which reduce the energy bill through a better balance between production and consumption for the individual customers, but also for industrial consumers. Then from Estonia, you already heard that we also have here a partner. They are called TREA. They are a regional energy agency acting in a city, especially in Tartu, and there they want to retrofit some houses in a residential district, which is already connected to district heating, and with energy efficiency and self-consumption from PV, they are going to save energy here and consume more from locally produced renewable sources, and also act together with social housing associations. From Germany, we have the pilot called in Hindelang. They are located and they're called Elektrizitätswerke Hindelang, and they are 100 years old electricity energy cooperative, organizing their local supply and also operating the grid. And now in Decide, they aim to increase their sustainable production and also use their surplus energy for operating heat pumps and electric vehicles. Heron is one of our two Greek pilots. They are a large electricity retailer, and they equip their customers with power meters to measure consumption and production from local renewable energies. And also they want to support their customers in the state before setting up an energy community. Then Domex, they are also closely working together with Heron, and they are also from Greece. And they offer a retrofit solution for automatization of gas heating systems to improve energy efficiency and have a smart remote control and participate in flexibility aggregation services. So maybe if you are also interested in having some similar projects or already started with one, then yeah, it's nice to have an exchange with those pilots, I guess. Yeah, and then I hand over the word to my colleague Ludwig.
Yes, thank you, Fanny and Lucia, for introducing the Decide. What you have seen is that Decide is about all types of collective actions on local, regional level. In some cases, or in many cases, people would call it energy communities. In other cases, it's not. It's just cooperating on local level. Decide is a European funded project. In a sense, it is special. The typical European project does something for 3 years and they create good results, and then towards the end they think about disseminating or exploiting the results. In a Decide, we said, okay, what we know and what we find in our 7 pilots, we want to share with other people throughout the project, and we want to give these people support to follow or to act as what we call replicants. So what if you apply and if you succeed with your application, what you will receive is expertise from the project partners, whether that's the partners in the pilots or whether that's the supporting partners in this Decide consortium. You can receive expertise and support in building up your organizational structures, developing your business cases or cooperation contracts, whatever you need, we can sort of support you. Of course, you get first-hand knowledge. You are sitting in, maybe not in the driver's seat, but next to the driver. You get the knowledge from our pilots. In the beginning, we will help you develop an implementation plan. Depends on where you stand. I mean, if you are sort of running already, we help you develop next steps. But if you are in a starting position, we can help you get started. But to be honest, and we will explain in a minute, we are not really after the people that just start about thinking. So we want to help you if you are going, you have taken decisions already, and then we can help you. We will match you with the experts. Lucia mentioned our coffee shop. So this will be an online coffee shop where you meet people to exchange the knowledge. We have multiple other means and measures. We have a knowledge hub, we have workshops, we have conferences, we have training activities. So you can enjoy a very, very broad bunch of support if you succeed to be one of our 15 replicants. Of course, there will be typical capacity building opportunities. They are not open, by the way, for the replicants only, but for a broader audience. But we do a lot of capacity building activities, call it webinars, call it seminars. So you will be one of the selected 15 and you get special treatment. How will it work? You will get in contact with one of our pilots. So our 7 pilots are prepared to take your hand. There will be this, what we call peer-to-peer knowledge platform, where people meet on a regular basis. You can say this is informal, but you can meet people. It's an open platform where you find the knowledge. Others find it as well, but what you will have, you will have our private or personal support on these hubs, in these coffee shops. In the beginning, we from the Decide consortium, we will moderate these activities in the knowledge hub and in the coffee shop, but we want to make this a self-sustained and self-running exercise towards the end of the Decide. So in the beginning, while you are there, we will be together, and the activities in the coffee shop and on the knowledge hub will be moderated. But towards the end, when we attract many more replicants, you will get in contact with many others, and we hope that we will create throughout the Decide exercises, we will create a lively network with you and the pilots as the starters, and connecting to many others. So this is how it works. So I told you what you can expect from us. What do we expect from you? Of course, we expect that you allocate some resources so we have someone to talk to. We expect you to do it sort of professional, so creating an implementation plan. We will help you, discuss it with you. And then, of course, we expect you do something, you implement what you prepared or planned in your implementation plan, whether that be a real energy community, a citizen energy community, a renewable energy community, or whatever other type of community. It should be something collective on a local level, so more or less. And then we expect you to really participate in our offerings on the Knowledge Pub and in the coffee shop, and that you enjoy our capacity building activities in the webinars and use the materials that will be provided. And yes, I mean, you are sort of privileged, so we also take your advice. And when we create the material for the other replicants, for the other hundreds and thousands of followers, please help us develop that material and share your insight with us. So that's how it will happen in case you succeed with the application. But first you have to apply.
Yeah, thanks, Ludwig. And I will now shortly describe how this application will work. So if you're interested, if what you heard now makes you curious, then it is important that all applicants fulfill some criteria. And we have eligibility criteria. This means that you must fulfill those in order to apply. And those are that the organization is established in an EU member state. From what I read in the chat, most of you already come from an EU member state or also from a country that is association to Horizon 2020 program. All those countries are in our application form in a checkbox. So if you want to apply and you find your country there, it's fine. Then, of course, you have to be active as an energy community with regards to the European directive is what we check first, or also as a collective action. And if you're not sure, we have a self-assessment tool to check your own status. And it's very quick. In 2 minutes, you can see if you are energy community, of course, with regards to the directive. Of course, this could be different from the national law. But yeah, that's also necessary for you to participate. As Ludwig said already, something collective on the local level with energy, this is fine. And then, as you already heard, it would be necessary that you provide some capacities and some willingness to participate in our project. This means also write with us this implementation plan and also implement what you are planning. Of course, if there are some delays, especially with the pandemic, and nobody will force you to leave the project, but it's just that you're also interested. This would be really necessary as we want to replicate our pilot activities to those who are the most motivated. And then also the exchange with the peers in the coffee shop is part of that. So one person from your organization who is interested in being somebody we can talk to, this would be really cool. We promise to also answer some frequently asked questions, additional to those who will come later in the chat. So as I already said, there are some eligibility criteria, but of course we also are ranking the applications following some other criteria, the assessment criteria. So among those replicants that we will select, we also have to ensure some geographical diversity, and we're also interested in technical diversity. So what you can see here now is the criteria, and the weighting means that if you fulfill this criterion to the fullest, it's this percentage as you can see on the right that it will contribute to the overall assessment. So it's important that your activities benefit somehow a target community. This means that, for example, there's some additional value in the local region generated, or that members can have a say how resources are allocated for investment in energy efficiency services or whatever. Or yeah, also you can create some awareness among the members, among the municipality, and this is also supported by local stakeholders, and they see how you're benefiting the community. So if you are somehow benefiting the community, that's already great. Then, of course, the technology that you deploy shouldn't be just in an experimental stadium. Ludwig already mentioned that. We would like you to implement already something or plan the implementation with us. So it should be possible and not you're just still waiting for the technology to develop and come out on the market. And then the next one would be that you don't receive that much public financial support yet, of course. It's also all those criteria, as already mentioned, are for assessment. If you don't fulfill one to the fullest, it's not that you're not able to apply. And also for the financial support, it's just that we want to give some extra benefit to those who don't receive any support to the moment because they just started maybe. And also, as we want to support upscaling and the small ones, you can read in the next criterion that it's an additional benefit if you're just a small organization with less than 300 members per set. But that's also, yeah, different. We have so the smaller the better. Let's say it like that. And also, it should be already established, your organization. So if you're just hearing now in the call, well, okay, I would like to fund something. I would like to found some organization to then participate in your call. Of course, that's possible, but if you're operating more than half a year, it would be beneficial because we think then you have some extra experience and you don't have to work hard on your organization internally, but can already benefit from our offers. Right. So how does the application process work? I already mentioned the self-assessment tool. You can check here whether you are an energy community or collective action. And this information is nice to have already before you fill out the online form, because you then can type it in the form directly. Also, you should check if you're fine with the agreement between us. We already mentioned what is in for you and what we would like you to offer to us. For example, one person we can talk to you, and this is written in the Memorandum of Understanding, which you all can find with the other documents on our website. Then to see how you can benefit the community, it is necessary to have a supporting organization. They just have to sign a letter of support, quite short, and just say that they support you in the application process. Then if you have all those documents at hand, you can fill out the application online form by clicking and typing in all those criteria. And then you can also attach the documents that I just mentioned. Our feedback will be given after we have our internal General Assembly called Decide and Commit. This is on the 17th and 18th of May. And there the whole consortium meets, and we will present them the highest ranked applications, and they decide who will become the replicants. So to sum it up, the next steps are you as an energy community or collective action across Europe, you have the time until 4th of May to apply in order to become a replicant. And then during the first selection procedure, we will select 15 replicants and they will be confirmed at the site General Assembly. And then by the end of the project, another 15 replicants are expected to participate in our initiative and exchange with the pilots and with you as potential replicants in a vivid network of deciders. So also if you today don't succeed in our application, you can have another chance to become a replicant if you are some partner of a pilot or of an interested replicant or just following the project. There will be some more possibilities to join the webinar, but webinars and so on. But of course, the tailored advice, the direct contact to the pilots, and help with implementation plan and so on. This will be special for those who can now apply for the call for application. So yeah, we would be very happy to see many of you becoming a Decide replicant. And if there is some more question, you probably will find the answers on our website, as we have there the frequently asked question. Of course, you can find our contact details there. You can apply for the call for sure. But this webinar is also intended to answer your questions directly. So please, yeah, type them in the chat now, and I will hand over to my colleague Lucia for the questions.
Thank you, Fanny. We have had already some questions in the chat and I tried to answer them. So I will go over them, and then maybe if people have sub questions or that wasn't clearly answered, then we can discuss it. As I'm reading the chat, I cannot see the participants. So if somebody raises their hand, Fanny, if you can let them speak. We had a question from Benjamin during the presentation, Benjamin Wilkin, which was, do you have any rough idea of the amount of resources needed, hours per month from us, the resources that were mentioned? And my response to the question was that we expect this to be about, let's say, 1 person month for the whole project, but this is sort of minimum to have a person that can communicate with us and they can follow the, let's say, the trainings and webinar that are going to be ongoing. Of course, if you find it useful, this depends on you. We're not offering funding. We're not offering resources financially to you. We're offering technical support. So we're offering that you share experiences, that you have trainings, that you can apply directly lessons learned and communicate with our partners and the pilots. So I hope that that's clear. Then we also had the second question that it said, you said it was Olibella, and I'm sorry if I'm not saying that correctly, Moussons, and it said, you said projects on different stages can apply. How early can the project be at to be eligible? As Fanny already mentioned, we say that you should be established to be eligible to apply for the call. And criteria was shown in Fanny's presentation. We have criteria split in percentages, and the criteria on how far you are is about 10%, and you get 0. These criteria are valued from 0 to 3. So you get 0 if you're just established in the last month, and then if you're more than 6 months, then you get 3 points. So it's in a span of that. We also had a question, is aquaponic, from Kelly Mermis. Is aquaponic, can that be a technology? We were aiming at technologies that are related to energy generation, consumption, energy management, energy efficiency. If you can show that this is used for that process, so it's a collective energy action, then that can be technology. Then we also have, does a replicant mean one project of community, or could it be more than one? Replicant means an applicant, so it's an association, and an organization, one organization, either energy community or a collective action. You could have under that energy community or collective action multiple things that are ongoing, but it's a one collective action or energy community. If you want to apply with multiple, you can also have multiple applications. I don't think we limit how many one organization if you're involved in multiple. I think those are all. There is no budget available for the replicants. Yes, there is no. We're not offering any grants. This is a technical assistance call. Are there already pilots experienced in urban farming in the network? Connecting with my question, Aquaponic, I don't think we have urban farming among our projects. As Fanny, maybe Fanny, you can correct me if that's wrong. I think it's mainly energy efficiency actions, photovoltaic generation, also for gas boilers we have for heating, but it's mainly related either to electricity or to heating. For now, we don't even have transport, but that would be an option. Follow up, you mean established community association project, or do you mean the organization that is promoting the application? Yes, we mean the energy community or collective action, and Ludwig also, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, has to be represented by a certain organization. It has to have some sort of legal form, or it can be an NGO or something like this. This is what we mean when we say an applicant.
Yeah, but actually, when I add both is true. I mean, to apply, you need to be an organization somehow. So the organization applies. But what we would like to see is one additional entity to support your application. And in most cases, when we say this is maybe local, then you would have a municipal representative, mayor or someone, or if you have the support of a housing corporation, or if you cooperate with a local utility, please let them sign a letter of support so that we understand that you are not alone. Because if you are alone, the chances to success would be lower than if you have supporters in your region or in your city or in your country. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could have support of the community, no? Of the local citizens represented within an NGO or some other association of the local citizens, yeah. I see I skipped the questions, and I'm sorry for that. From Guilherme Luz, it says, what is the ideal typology for replicant? Example, a renewable energy community with local stakeholders that is already active, and the DECIDE project can be used to extend the replicabilities of the renewable energy community. We don't say, we're not preferring, let's say, renewable energy community to citizen energy community or any other form, let's say, of collective energy action. What we do say is that we would like to see a collective energy action of a sort that helps the community. So usually energy community as such, as it's defined, renewable energy community or citizen energy community already has this in its definition. But any other form of collective action which can prove that the benefits or support also goes to the community is okay. Of course, I think as Fanny presented our pilots, if you have an organization, let's say, that is doing something similar to our pilots, maybe you can find more things that would be interesting for you because you have points that are overlapping. However, we also want within DECIDE to have replicants that are varying in technology, but also in geography, because we want to see from different perspectives what drives users to become part of the energy community, so that as a result of DECIDE, we can have lessons learned on how to reproduce different kinds of successful energy communities or collective action. Okay. I hope that, Ludwig, if you have additional comments.
No, as I'm listening to you, Lucia, it comes to my mind that what we are after in DECIDE is mostly also somehow shaping the frameworks for developing such activities or energy communities. So correct me, Lucia, but we are not a real at least not only a technical project. We are not after specific technologies to be developed. We are after developing organizational business models for new ways of cooperating, and also after helping to shape the framework for such activity.
Yeah, let's say we're helping form an enabling framework for energy communities or collective actions to grow. I see also there's a question from Kelly, could implementation of smart grid be a technology as well? Yes, of course.
Yes. And aquaponic could be, but only if it's a bit in relation to energy. We are very energy oriented. So aquaponic is, on the one hand side, maybe a contribution to saving energy in agriculture, or at least you would use, and if you do it in a broad range, you would use energy, and if you use it better and on a local or cooperative way, yes, why not aquaponic?
Yeah, I see aquaponic is very energy related. It uses a lot of energy. Yes, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, please continue. We have a raised hand. I would ask this person to speak up then.
You can go ahead.
You can switch on if you have a camera.
Yeah. So you may speak now.
Good, just trying to turn on my video, but doesn't matter. Okay, my name is Wanda, I'm from Ireland, and I'm leading a Horizon 2020 project, which is called Upstairs, and we have a lot of similarities in relation to promoting energy communities and collective actions. So my question is, does my project falls under this replicant option? Because we have 5 pilots in different member states like Bulgaria, Spain, Ireland, Germany, Austria, and also one of our partners, which will not be a pilot site, but they are in process to establish a renewable energy community as well. So my question is, can our project as one falls under this approach you are offering, or this is just for energy communities? Also, on another side, our project only lasts for 6 months. We just started last year in September, and collecting a lot of knowledge from other countries, trying to establish also digital platform. Maybe this is too early now, or for us? We're trying to find, maybe ask for collaboration.
No, it's, hi, Venda, we know each other. We communicated over email. I know you will, Upstairs project will be part of our Decide and Commit public forum that we have in May. So I'm glad to hear also experiences from you guys. We don't, the eligibility, based on eligibility, if there is a project that's already part of another, or energy community or collective action that's part of another project, we don't say that it's not eligible to apply. However, we do, as you've seen mainly in the criteria, there is a criteria that says that we give more points to the actions that don't already have some funding or support. So we don't say that it's not eligible, but we, let's say, give slight advantage to the projects that don't have already some support. So yes, I hope that answers the question. Yeah.
Yes, understand. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. I seen we have a comment in the chat that there is a lot of countries that do not have regulation for local energy communities established yet, and how would this be taken into account, drafting the implementation plans, and will you make policy suggestions on this? I will give a quick answer and then let Ludwig also talk on this topic, but we understand, as we're also involved in different initiatives, and that energy communities, as defined also in the directives, are not yet transposed in most countries. And this is the reason why our project also involves energy communities and collective actions, because we are seeing through, as the project develops, how these regulations are also developing in different countries. We have, through the project, also regulatory workshops, but this is mainly in the countries of the side. So the Greece, Belgium, Germany, Austria, and Estonia. However, we do have regulatory overviews, and if this is something that's an interesting topic, which we think it is, it will only be part of our webinars and workshops that we have also organized as, let's say, trainings and capacity building to help, let's say, direct how the initiatives will go. But as far as the implementation plan, maybe I can let Ludwig explain that part.
Yes, you refer to me because you know that I'm also heading a task force on developing the energy communities in Europe, and obviously in the task force we talk about putting them in national laws, and them is the definition of the Commission, the renewable energy and the citizen energy communities. But I would say one of the findings in DECIDE is that we should not restrict ourselves to exactly the definitions in the EU directives. So DECIDE as such is open for all types of communities and all types of collective actions. But on the other hand side, with DECIDE, we also want to contribute and help the decision makers, the lawmakers, the regulators to create favorable frameworks for the development of such collective approaches. And we discuss, as Lucia says, with these people, and we create the opportunities to discuss with the lawmakers and the regulators as to what is a favorable framework for developing cooperative approaches, including citizen energy communities. So yes, but yes, we are sort of after the energy communities as defined by the Commission, but we also accept other approaches.
Yeah, and also Ludwig and Fanny are leading the work package 2, which is working with the pilots and replicators where these implementation plans are developed, and they help pilots and replicators, let's say, guide them through how to fill in the implementation plan. But it definitely, implementation plan is not limited, I would say, by the directives. Yeah.
No.
Then we also see a question. It says being based in EU countries and eligibility criteria, example, Balkan countries. We say that an eligibility criteria is being either based in a member state or age 2020 associated countries. So that would involve most of the Balkan countries. As I see also from Kelly, it says even in Belgium, we have many local energy community regulation issues. This is true. Do we become visible on your website as well as Replicant? Of course you do. Will you then develop visuals for us? This is something that we're also discussing through this, let's say, technical assistance, is also that now with COVID, what we've noticed also with our pilots is that it's becoming very different how you approach also people to join your energy community or collective action, because everything has to be done online. So this is definitely part of, let's say, a workshop or training, helping how to make your, let's say, website or your electronic platform so that it attracts people, how to make your electronic material such that people are interested in it, and what motivates people to get interested in it. We're not going to go and, let's say, design your website or something like that, but we'll give you advice on how to do this. Of course, on the DECIDE website and the things that are DECIDE related, and we do have people from EClass. EClass is our dissemination partner here. So if they have something else they want to add, I would please ask either Valeria, Sylvia, or Julia, somebody to comment. I know they're here.
Yeah, maybe I can. Sorry, I was muted. Hi, this is Julia from EClass speaking. We are the communications partner, amongst other things, in DECIDE. And yes, what Lucia said is absolutely true. We will definitely be able to support you more on a advice level, how you can get in contact. But there will also be an extensive toolkit provided to all replicators, and that, of course, also has some information on how to communicate and some really practical application examples, such as presentations, infographics we use, maybe something even more hands-on as social media tweet cards, things like that. So here you will receive some support or materials that you can very easily adapt to your own initiatives.
Yeah. And not only that material, Lucia mentioned that one of our partners There's the University of Mannheim, for example. Here we are talking about sociologists, we are talking about psychologists, so people that can help you be more successful in approaching your stakeholders. So even that, you choose. You have the choice.
Well, I've seen also there was a comment if the presentation will be shared, then Valeria also answered, but as we said, this is recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel. But I also wanted, as I mentioned in the discussion with Wanda from upstairs, we have a Decide and Commit event that's coming up on the 17th and 18th of May. It's a two half-day event, let's say, that will be online, and it's open to the public, most of it. I think it's 2 hours on the 17th and 4 hours on the 18th, where we'll have representatives from the Decide project, but also from other projects that are dealing with energy communities and collective actions from regulatory point of view and social point of view. They'll be discussing what are some of the opportunities and barriers, what can be done further, and you can find the link to this on our website, and you can register for it. So I just wanted to remind everybody, since you're here, let me see, I can't share and see what's happening. So let me see if we have any other questions. I don't know. Okay. If somebody else.
Questions. So go ahead, apply. Yeah. And take it that way. It's a low-hanging fruit. I mean, compared to the application to a full-blown European-funded project, it's easy to apply here. Low-hanging fruit, you gain a lot with little effort. Correct, Lucia?
Yeah, yeah, of course. We have good partners, and we would be very welcoming to partners from, of course, the countries that we have, but also any other country in EU. And if you have any more questions, I think Valeria has already shared in the chat our website for Decide. There is also frequently asked questions there. There is an email that you can send us. There is a link right now. There is also email that where you can send us additional questions. The deadline is 4th of May, and it's a strict deadline. It's 4th of May at 5 p.m. Central European summertime. So please respect the deadline and send us all the information there. And then, as Fanny already mentioned, we have then the General Assembly, which is this Decide and Commit event, where we'll, in the private sector, which is 2 hours that are planned only for Decide partners, we'll discuss the 15 sort of replicants that we find are the most suited. We all agree on that, and then we'll inform replicants by end of May. That's the idea. I see the Comrades project is also dealing with similar topics. You could join with them. Indeed, the Comrades project is actually one of the projects that we'll have on the Decide and Commit panel on the discussion. So we'll have Compile project, Comrades project upstairs, which Wanda is representative. Also our Decide project. And there is also Code Community project, which is dealing with the Baltic countries. So the idea with that panel was that it will be about 50 minutes, and it will be mainly experts from regulation that will be discussing how we try to cover as much of the European Union as we could with the different projects. And they'll be discussing what are the regulatory aspects in different countries, what drives energy communities or collective energy actions in different countries, what's positive, what are some barriers. We'll also discuss some of the solutions so that we're not just discussing problems, but in the second half, we'll also have the panel discussion from our Decide pilots, which Fanny already presented, and we're really excited to hear that as well. And they'll be discussing on their experiences. And then the final one will be from Ludwig, Len from Tinky, and Andreas from Yonom Research, because they're involved with the Task Force on Energy Communities in Bridge. And they will be talking about some of the opportunities that are out there on how to solve these issues, of course. Such a simple question. Yeah. Okay, well, we won't keep you anymore since I see there is no more questions, but thank you for joining us today. And we hope that you apply for our call and that you spread the news also about the call to others that you think might be, that this would be useful for them. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, thanks.